Toxic supervisor almost ruined my life. When I was in my early 20s, I landed a job at a small advertising agency in downtown Seattle. The agency had a unique approach to advertising, and it was quickly gaining a reputation for producing eye-catching, creative content. I was thrilled to be a part of such an exciting team. On my first day, I met my supervisor, David. David was charming and funny, and he seemed genuinely interested in helping me succeed in my new position. However, it didn't take long for me to notice some troubling behavior. David was quick to take credit for other people's ideas. He would belittle his colleagues in public, and he had a temper that could erupt without warning. Despite these red flags, I tried to give David the benefit of the doubt. I assumed that he was just under a lot of stress and that he was struggling to manage his emotions. As time went on, however, I began to realize that David's toxic behavior was not going to change anytime soon. I decided to keep my head down and focus on doing my job to the best of my abilities. I worked long hours and did everything I could to keep the agency's clients happy. David seemed pleased with my performance, and he even started delegating some of his own duties to me. After 2 years of working as David's assistant, I found myself in a difficult situation. I woke up one morning with severe stomach pain and nausea, and I knew that I wouldn't be able to make it into the office. I called David and let him know that I was headed to the hospital. He seemed sympathetic and wished me a speedy recovery. As I sat in the emergency room, waiting to be seen by a doctor, I suddenly received a text message from an unknown number. The message read, "I'm sorry to hear that you're sick. Your father is here to see you." I was confused and a little frightened. My father had passed away years ago, and I couldn't imagine who would be pretending to be him. Just then, David walked into the emergency room. He had a smirk on his face, and he said, "Well, I guess you weren't lying about being sick. I expect a doctor's note before you come back to work." I was in shock. I couldn't believe that David had gone to such lengths to check up on me. After I was discharged from the hospital, I took a week off to recover from my illness. During that time, I started looking for a new job. I realized that I didn't want to work for someone who would treat their employees with such little respect. A few days after I returned to work, David was fired. It turned out that he had been submitting inaccurate paperwork to the agency's clients, and he had been caught in the act. I felt relieved that I had made the decision to leave the agency when I did. Looking back on that experience, I realized that it taught me an important lesson about standing up for myself. I had let David's toxic behavior go on for far too long, and I had allowed him to take advantage of me. I vowed never to let that happen again. Like, comment, and follow for more stories.